Hey everybody, it's Mary from Mary's Vegan Table. It's been a long time, feels like forever. Today we're going to be making potato croquettes. I hope everybody is doing fine. Just one large Idaho potato, and I'm only making one because it's just me. And just cut them up into equal parts so they boil evenly. I'm just going to put them in cold water and put them on the stove to boil until they're tender, and then we're going to mash them. Okay, so here I have a small pepper, a very small pepper, and I have a half of an onion, and I'm only going to use half of this half. And what I want to do is I just want to give the croquettes more flavor, because I don't know if you guys, when you go to the restaurants, you ever have the croquettes as your appetizer there, and they're kind of bland. To me, they taste kind of bland. But I just want to add as much flavor to these croquettes. So, let's see. I just use basically like a little quarter half of this small pepper. 3 large russet potatoes or 3 large Idaho potatoes will give you quite a few croquettes if you're gonna have a lot of people. So I'm just gonna dice these up small. What I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna saute them for a little bit, because I want to really bring out the flavor in them. So when you bite into that croquette, you're gonna get all these nice flavors. We don't want big chunks of the onion and the pepper. We want to just, so you could taste it. Okay, that's pretty good. Like I said, I'm gonna just use half of this onion. Okay, I'm going to use 1 clove of fresh garlic, but I'm not going to put it in right now. I'm not going to put it in the pan at the same time as the onions and the pepper. Just 1 clove of garlic. Okay. This 2, I'm going to mince this up nice and small. We're going to leave this garlic, oh, it smells good. We're going to leave this garlic to the side. We're going to go heat up the skillet. Okay, so here I have my small skillet. I'm going to put like a teaspoon of olive oil in there. Got the big skillet over here already too, for later when we cook up the croquettes. Okay. Okay, so here we have our onion and our peppers. What I want to do is just, until they're tender. The onions are translucent, or even a little caramelized is nice too. You could, caramelize the onions a bit. So we're just gonna saute these until they're nice and tender. Okay, so you can see that they're tender. Everything's tender, and the onions are even a little caramelized. I'm gonna add the clove of garlic that we just chopped up to it. Just gonna mix that in. Let the garlic get a little tender. Did I mention we're making these croquettes cheesy? Yeah, I'm gonna add a little extra cheese to the mix. So I just want to keep stirring it because I really don't, and put it on a low heat now, because now I don't want my onions to burn. It's usually the other way around. We worry about the garlic burning, just in case I'm worried about the onions burning. It smells good. Okay, just gonna turn this off now and let that sit and check on the potatoes. Okay, so the potatoes are done. They're nice and hot. It's the best time to mash them is when they're hot. Here I have the onions, the peppers, and the clove of garlic, and I'm just gonna mash these potatoes right into the bowl with those. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use this because I really want a really smooth potato mixture. Okay, so while it's still warm, I'm just gonna season it up, but I gotta wait for it to completely cool before handling it and adding the cheese to it. So I think it'll be nice just putting all the seasonings in while it's still warm. That way all the flavors will melt together nicely. So I'm putting in about a small teaspoon of salt to taste. Okay, guys? I'm gonna put in a pinch of pepper, and for this recipe is basically seasoned to taste. Taste it as you season. If you're gonna do one potato like me, I recommend that you just put in maybe a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half of everything except the salt and the pepper. I'm gonna put in, I guess that's about a teaspoon and a half of Italian seasoning. You could also put fresh parsley in this too. It's very good with fresh parsley, along with the Italian seasoning. And I'm just gonna mix this up. And like I said, once it cools, I'll add the Parmesan cheese to it, the vegan Parmesan cheese. Look how nice and smooth it is. And no, guys, you don't have to add eggs to this. The potato starch in itself is enough of a binder to hold it together. So no egg is required, not even egg replacement, no egg substitute. And when we bread it, the bread's just gonna stick to it automatically because the texture it's sticky. Okay, I'm gonna taste this. That has a lot of flavor. And I'm not gonna put any more salt in it because the cheese, the Parmesan cheese, it already has salt in that, and I don't want this to be too salty. So let's just let this cool off, and we'll come back in a little bit and we'll bread them and fry them. Okay, so here I have my breadcrumbs. These are my homemade breadcrumbs, and I mixed them up with a little unbleached flour. I may have toasted my breadcrumbs a little too long, but that's okay. And I seasoned them with Italian seasoning. Okay, here's our potatoes. The potatoes. I'm gonna go get the cheese and add the cheese in it. Okay, so here I have Farrager. Farrager Parmesan vegan and dairy free Parmesan cheese. It's not a lot of potatoes. Like I said, it's just me, so I just used one large Idaho potato. So I'm just gonna add some of that cheese in there. That was probably maybe a little less than a quarter of a cup. Okay, my hands are clean, so I'm just gonna get in there with my hands and mush it up. Okay. Just gonna make a ball. And then just, shape it like a little, like a, I don't know, a little torpedo shape. Just gonna roll them around in the breadcrumb mixture. If you want, you could also use aquafaba or any kind of egg substitute replacement. You could have a separate plate of flour and then a separate plate of the breadcrumbs, and then roll this around the flour, dunk it in the egg replacement, and then roll it around in the breadcrumbs and then fry it up. But in this case, I'm just gonna do it this way. And as you can see, it's nicely coated. I'm gonna put this on a dry plate. I have the skillet heating up with some canola oil in it. Here I'm gonna take another small handful. And if you want to keep the size all uniform, you could use a small measuring cup to scoop out each serving, or a small ice cream scooper. So I'm just eyeballing this, and I have it in a ball. It's like the size of my palm, fits in my palm, and I'm just gonna shape it into that little torpedo missile shape. You could also make them flat. You could make it into a ball and press it down a little. Okay. And just roll it around. Get the breadcrumbs, cover it all up in the breadcrumbs. Okay. And I'm just gonna finish these up and then we'll go fry them. Okay, so you can see I got one large Idaho potato. I got 6 croquettes. And it also depends how big you make them too. I didn't make these very big. This oil's been heating for a while. I have it on low because I didn't want it burning. So I'm just gonna put these in. Don't crowd them. It's a pretty large frying pan and croquettes aren't that big, so I'm just gonna put all 6 in. Okay, remember to keep an eye on them so that they don't burn. Okay, I have the heat on medium low. As you can see, this side crisp up. It's because the oil was so hot. See how nice and crispy that one is already? These are fast appetizers to make, guys. You can even use it for a little side dish. And you can make these with a nice little marinara sauce. And you can see there's not much oil in the pan. I just put enough just to cover the bottom of the pan. And now I think I'm going to turn up the heat a little more. I just didn't want it too hot. It would have burned everything really fast. So I'm going to turn the heat up to medium now. They smell good. You can definitely smell the cheese, that's for sure. You could also, when putting in your seasonings, you could add fresh basil to it, fresh rosemary to the potato mix. And you just roll them around until they're brown, until it's brown all over. Okay, so here they are. Maybe I added a little too much cheese because there was just one potato and I got carried away with myself. But they are good. Some of the cheese is oozing out of them. So, let's try them. Let's see. Okay. They're good. They're so flavorful. Have a nice little crisp. They're really good. I had to let them cool because when they're hot like that, you can't really enjoy them because they're so piping hot. But these are really good. One had broke while I was taking it out the frying pan, so I just ate it. That's why I didn't make it on to the cutting board. Gonna use one potato, just use a little bit of cheese. Use like less than a quarter cup. I say use like maybe a tablespoon of cheese for one potato if you're using one potato. If you're using 3, 4, 5 potatoes, you know, go nuts. Not nuts, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I see, even though I haven't been on YouTube lately, I noticed that I got a few more subscribers. I appreciate that so much. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I'm still trying to grow my little channel here, so I appreciate, you know, all the kind comments and all the likes, and just appreciate all you guys who subscribed. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit your notification bell put out. That way you guys know when I put the next video out. And again, I love you. Have a safe, happy, fun weekend, guys. Bye.